All right, guys, it's Tom here with Hidden Beats, and today we have Graham Trude. How are you doing today?
Good, brother. Thanks for having me.
No, we definitely love talking to new and interesting artists, so I was glad to have you aboard.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate being here, and all the interviews I've been having lately have just been amazing. So this is great.
So for people who are new to you as an artist, you want to give a little kind of explanation about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a to sum it all up in one. I'm a Afghanistan veteran. I'm a former police officer, and now I write music for a living and hang out with my family. I'm a father. I'm a husband, and I'm very, very honored and privileged about my role as such.
Nice, nice. My family's actually got military background too, and so definitely love the service and everything.
Nice, brother.
So I mean, let's get started with how you actually got into music.
Yeah, so it really started out when I was a kid. I would watch my brother John always playing guitar. He was much older than me, and then I'd grab his harmonica and try and make some awful sounds with it. But I loved it, and ever since I think I was about like maybe 7 or 8, I was always kind of writing music and poetry and things like that. And music was just something I picked up on quick, and I've always used it as a therapy. So really that's kind of it. Just started as a young man, and really has evolved from there into a career, which is incredible.
No, that's awesome. Did
Yeah,
you use your music a lot during your military service? Like we're out there playing guitar for all the guys and
yeah, yeah, man. Most of the stuff that I would play would just be like stupid shit. Like it'd be, like just fun and joking around type stuff. But a lot of the real meaningful poetry, I would say like the deeper stuff that I would play would be more behind closed doors, but I would always have fun with the guitar as much as I could.
nice. So how long did you serve in the military?
So I did 6 years altogether. And then I ended up getting out in 2013, I believe it was. And then in 2014, I joined the Anishinaabe Indigenous Police Service.
How are you indigenous or how did you get involved with that?
No, I just, I learned a lot about it when I went back to school after the military, and I learned a lot about, I did a program about indigenous rights, and it was just really interesting to the point where I found out that there's so many third world type issues we live with in our own country, and a lot of them are in these minuscule populated areas. So just generalized research and whatnot, and I figured this was a good time to go out and try and help out.
And that actually that point jumped out at me because I am also indigenous myself. So when I
Oh,
saw
nice.
that, I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, I'm yeah, man. No, I've got it was really cool because the area that I was in called Poplar Hill, it was like near the Manitoba border. But not many people spoke English at all. Like a lot of people were Ojibwe.
Mhm.
So I learned and kind of went along with it, and it was really cool. It was an incredible experience.
And actually, yeah, some of those Manitoba areas are some of the most under I don't even know what the word to think under serviced areas for indigenous cultures too. So
Yeah, it's something I'd like to, as hopefully I climb in the music industry, that I would like to bring a lot more attention to, because I've had a lot of experience with it, and I've really seen how it goes, you know, um, politically and socioeconomically. So
mhm. And I mean, especially with everything today, with all the schools and everything, that's a lot going on right now.
yeah, and it's a lot of stuff that needs to be brought. It needs attention, and it needs a lot of attention.
Mhm. Well, I mean, hopefully you'll be able to do a lot more with that with your music career too.
Yeah, man. I mean, as long as I can even help out a little bit, nothing gets solved with one person. As long as we all kind of come together as a team, as a community, and then we can all make positive change, right? But that's how it's done as a team. Kind of like everything, healing, addictions, whatnot. It's all
Hmm.
done as a team.
And that kind of goes hand in hand with some of your music too. There seems to be a lot of really deep stories and lyrics involved in that, and some I would assume with personal with your latest release, PTSD. That's a big thing with the military too.
Yeah, man. Well, I just, I started dabbling with that song after I ended up going to rehab facility for addictions, for alcohol, and for trauma. And when I went there, um, I did my life story. I wrote down everything in the book, and it was a horribly, incredibly emotional, yet opening, welcoming experience at the same time. And that's kind of where the song PTSD lies from the aftermath of that. It was post rehabilitation to the point where I had to go back, relive it, and feel like I re-victimized myself. And then I'd write that down in music, and PTSD ended up coming out.
And I got a chance to listen to the song, before we talked, and it definitely has some powerful notes to it for sure.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that.
Hmm. Do you have like a specific process when you're coming up with music? Like I know some people will lock themselves away and write for days, or how is your process?
Yeah, my process really goes like with it's therapy, right? And I mean, like, we all have a choice to do therapy every day. We all have a choice to meditate every day. It really just depends on how badly you need it and how badly you should be doing it. So I mean, realistically, like, I try and do something every day. That's my process. Even if it's just writing a new little lick, or if it's writing a new song from top to bottom, or just organizing lyrics in my mind or something. But every day I try and jump into my creative brain and really try and pick at it and do something.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could do that sometimes. I just don't have the. I'm almost like a person with ADD. I have to do a whole bunch of different things. And
Yeah, I mean, well, and I used to be like that too, but like, I smoke weed, so.
I mean,
But
I should be doing that. Really
maybe
calm
you
me
should
down
try that.
sometimes. Yeah, one of these days. I got so much going on. It seems like I need to stop and do that more often.
Well, I think it really, it's just like medically, I do use it, but really, I think the world needs to just almost stop and take a breath too. Like, the world of impatience is here, um, and it's just that instant gratification, that don't want to wait for anything, and I want it now, not later, and I find that is really prevalent in the world these days. And we need to really take a step back. I think COVID was a bit of a blessing for some of us.
How did you handle COVID with everything going on?
Oh, dude, it was heavenly. I mean, I'm not a recluse, but I am at the same time.
Same
So
way.
like,
I'm the same way.
yeah, like, I love being around people and whatnot, but I love being creative too. And in my environment is kind of in my own, by myself type thing.
Hmm.
So, you know, I didn't have a hard time with COVID. And plus, like, we had the birth of our son, which he was a preemie. So we were in the hospital for a couple months. Some pretty interesting stuff happened. I mean, but just like everybody, it did. And, we got through it, man. We're here talking, and hopefully I'll be playing soon.
Yeah, exactly. I know my mental health for COVID was honestly never better. Like I got to
Mhm.
stay away from people, and I'm very much the same as you in my own little world and doing my thing.
Yeah. And I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I find there's sometimes like these music affects everybody differently, right?
Hmm.
And like, so, I don't listen to a ton of country music these days. Like, I listen to what I grew up on, and that was post-hardcore metal. Like, that's just what I've always listened to.
Hmm.
Um, but I find it just affects people emotionally to the point where, I don't know, they're like, people are not allowed to express or feel like they can express as much as as it allows them anymore. And I think that just being that differential and trying something new and experiencing something new in music is a really key aspect of actually like enhancing the genre.
No, that makes sense for sure.
You know, if it does, yeah, because that's all I think about. It's just like, no, I love it when people just kind of pick different genres and they kind of play with them, you know, and that's what I enjoy doing, and that's why I created Country Core Records, and that's why I want to continue with that, because I want to bring my love of country music, but also my love of metal and my love of post-hardcore music and rock music, and bring it all into one.
And I think COVID allowed a lot of people to experiment like that. If you look at Josh Ramsey, for instance, from Mariana's Trench, he did a whole album of different genre songs.
Yeah,
So
and
something
Josh,
like that's cool.
he's amazing, man. Like he's an extremely talented writer, and it's amazing that he was able to do that. And I think it's you know, but again, there's COVID giving you a little bit of that slowdown where you can actually focus on a project like Josh wanted to do. And I think that, you know, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm super happy with where it's going. And I got to find myself throughout that process too. And I'm just going to kind of continue following that path.
And that seems to be the best thing for people. So you finding yourself, you're gonna put more of yourself into your music and create just better music.
Yeah, and I think the big thing too is staying true to yourself. Like that's a big one too, because there's a lot of people lose themselves, and especially this industry. And I mean, you know, what we have to remember is there's already a you know, a Jason Aldean. There's already a, you know, a Luke Combs and stuff like that. Like just be you, man. You know,
That's all you can do.
yeah, that's it.
How do you think the music industry with social media and everything is right now?
I think it's amazing. Like with there's so many different things I want to say here. I think it sucks because it's to the point where it would have been nice to be able to still sell CDs and do all that stuff like before Napster and everything like that came. And back when, you know, on the bars, like when you'd go to the club on the weekend, the club would be packed, and it was just like the old entertainment days, man, the old Roadhouse days. So it was, you know, that to me was interesting. But at the same time, social media has been incredible. And the reason being is because we found so much talent, and we've realized how much talent is all around the world, and even in our own backyards, man. And not a lot of us even know it, and we never would know it either unless we had social media. So, you know, it's good and bad.
Were you able to get into any like live shows that you wanted to play for your fans at all, or?
Yeah, it was we did some stuff. I was with a band, the Singing Soldiers, at the start of the pandemic, and we ended up stopping everything, and folding the band up, which was fine. Um, but we were doing stuff with like the Trailer Park Boys, and we did something. Yeah, it was with Jason McCoy and the Trailer Park Boys and George Canyon, and there was a few different things. Like it was really just some fun stuff like that. But I mean, you know, everybody got hurt through that pandemic, man. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually, it's funny you say Trailer Park Boys. I work with one of the promoters who books them a lot on their tours out here.
Oh, nice. That's wicked. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I'm a huge fan.
So we get to do things with them every so often, and I think there's supposed to be some more tours coming up actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm big on Canadian stuff. So yeah, I love grew up on the boys there.
That
Fun humor.
and Kenny versus Spenny is another one that's big.
Grew up on it, man. Yeah, Kenny versus Spenny, the Trailer Park. Basically anything that hit Showcase, you know, we all grew up on. And that was this thing, is like that's where we got our swearing and stupid shit humor from. So it was
very much so. Yeah. I can remember actually some of my buddies and I used to film Jackass videos back in like 2001, and I broke some bones and did some stupid things. And
that's like following the Bam Margera CKY2K era.
Yeah.
With like, you know, all that. Yeah, like I grew up in that era. I loved it, man. Like, you know, and I still do, but there's things to take from it and things not to take from it. I wouldn't do it again, but had fun doing it, you know, at the end of the day.
I mean, I might still do some of those things again, but there's definitely some that my body couldn't handle right now. So
Bro, ever since I turned 35, which was in February, I have immediately felt older and like all my bones crack and I feel like a firework every single morning, like a glow stick, you know?
I'm
So,
37. I'm the exact same way.
yeah, ever since I hit it before, it was kind of like, okay, I'm still feeling good. Now I seize.
And I'm just thinking about me waking up this morning going, just getting out of bed and going, I hate my life. And
Dude, I threw my back out the other week from yawning. That's
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to these days, you know? It's like
Mm-hmm.
nothing, you're never safe.
I mean, I've thrown my back out. I know how bad that could be. So yawning's I haven't done that one yet.
Well, just wait, bro. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. So you just released P.T.S.D. I hear you have an EP that you're working on too.
Yeah, man. So it's a 4-song EP. P.T.S.D is the first release. Reason why we're releasing it first is it more sets the tone for, my experiences, who I am as a person, and kind of, what I went through in my previous life. But the great thing is that the other songs are exactly what I like, which is country rock and, just a lot of fun music, man. I don't know if it's very radio friendly mainstream. I hope it is, but I just love playing it. So that's what it is. So,
And
but
that's the best part.
yeah. So it's heavy though. It's heavier country, but it's fun, dude. I'm having a great time with it.
Nice. I mean, I'm looking forward to hear it for sure.
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
Is when you're coming up with like an EP or a project like that, do you try to do like listen to it from front to back or kind of pick and choose tracks throughout?
Wow. That's probably like an easy question for most people, but I've never really done that. I just kind of just like I listen to a song. If I write a tune, I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's cool. Let's throw it down. Yeah, and like I have songs that are shelved that some of the promoters are like, bro, what is that? It's like Metallica and Pantera meet George Strait. It's weird, but yeah,
Sounds fun.
yeah, I have fun with it, but I've never done. No, I've never really thought of that.
Some people I find are really into the idea of the whole record or album telling a story from front to back. And some people are just throw it on in a car and go cruising and have fun with it.
Yeah, I think I'm more like that because like, each one of my songs tells a story, but the problem is I don't want to drag the story on because I have so many different stories that I put in my music, like, so I don't know, it'd be really hard for me to do that. But it's actually kind of a cool idea. So thanks for letting me know that.
For sure. I mean, if it makes a new project, then why not?
I mean, it might. I think it's a really cool idea and like actually strategically storytelling it. Yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything on the go now that's coming up, like live shows or another release soon?
So I was supposed to. Okay, so in 2 months we're going to be releasing Our Kind of Country, and yeah, Our Kind of Country, and that's one of the singles that's coming out. It's a really rock and heavy tune. And then we had some gigs booked for September, but we had to cancel because we're going to the CCMAs this year.
Okay.
Which will be fun out in Calgary. So really, I'm kind of just planning 2023 tour, which is going to be probably a big one. But I'm being patient with everything right now because there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I don't know about that's happening, and I just I kind of go with the flow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being part of the promotion team, I hear a lot about that stuff when they book things on their end. So it's a lot of work, and making sure it's done right is the best way.
Yeah, and I mean, like my team is, they're incredible. I mean, Strata Entertainment and Stereo Dynamite and whatnot, like they're all amazing. And I just, Dale speaking, Brian Chick, who else is it? There's so many. ZYK, Front Porch entertainment. Like they're just all incredible, and they all help out. Like when they're, when they really believe in something, and they can't help every single person, right? But when they really believe in something, it's like, they can really, really make a difference.
For sure. Do you plan on trying to work more with, like, I know you worked with the Singing Soldiers, which was associated with the Wounded Warriors. Are you going to try to keep stuff like that going?
No. And the reason why is because I'm ready to move on a little bit in life, like I'm always going to be a soldier at heart. I'll always be a veteran. Obviously, I'll always live with post-traumatic stress. But I find that if I continually just like keep myself in that circle, mentally it really hurts me, because I just keep thinking about it and think about it, right? And I find that, like, now that I've dealt with a lot of that stuff from the past, throughout my therapy journey, that the future kind of allows me to live a different life, so I can look back at the past now and go, hey, that was amazing, and that's what I did, but it's not who I am anymore, right?
Yeah, it's a stepping stone to your next part of your journey, for sure.
Yeah, and the next part of my journey is completely focused on music and songwriting, and yeah, if there's more military songs that come out of it, cool. Like, no harm against it, but I think that I'm like, as for solely focusing on it, like with Wounded Warriors and all the other organizations and whatnot, I think I'm done with that as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So I have a few questions that I ask everybody. It kind of elicits a little bit more thought, which is fun.
Okay.
So first one I have is, what is something on your playlist that you wouldn't, or people wouldn't expect that you listen to?
Oh, that's a really good question. I almost like want to pull up my playlist right now.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I would say Simple Man by Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
And that's probably one of my, well, it is my favorite band. But it's probably one of my favorite songs.
I love that song, actually. That's makes me, I wonder if I have it on my playlist.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm just thinking right now. It's like, I wonder if I have it. But yeah, that would be it. Like, I'm a big Skinner fan. Tuesday's Gone with the Wind, probably another one too.
And I always like asking that question because you always hear something completely different from everyone, which is really fun to get a kind of a deeper insight into them.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm not telling you the nitty gritty stuff. Like, I'm not telling you, like, yo, I got the Britney Spears shit on my playlist, like, nonstop. I'm gonna tell you something cool. Like,
hey, we all have a guilty pleasure song. Like, one of my favorites is Starship with Nicki Minaj.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, and I could do the whole song too, so I'm right in there with it.
I think you should right now.
Right. Oh, I mean, I don't know if you put me on the spot here with that one.
Bro, you might get some Spotify credits. There you go.
Or I'll just send her more money because she's tagging me for extra money.
Yeah, that's what it'll be.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually gonna sing this.
No, you don't have to, bro. I'm just kidding.
So one of my more deeper questions, which is one that everyone has something different. I don't think I've heard the same thing twice. What's one piece of advice that you were given when you were coming up in music that you've held on to closely?
It was actually more of a statement that was said to me by a guy who I really don't like, but I'll always remember it. And that statement was, when you first wrote that song, when you first wrote your first song ever, did you ever think about money?
Okay.
And I said, no. And he goes, and I want you to remember that for the rest of your music career, the rest of your life. And that is how you put emotion into a song. And, as much as I really didn't have a great experience with that individual, I still took away that piece of information because it made sense.
Oh, it really does. Actually, that's almost deep in a way that when you sit back and think about it.
Well, it is, and I mean, we all get wrapped up in style and money and all the other bullshit that goes along with the music industry, with the blue check marks and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, we need to bring ourselves back all the time and remember that I'm not writing this song for money or fame, or I'm writing this for this right here. It's in here, and what's in here, and what's in here, and then I can
Mhm.
put it on paper. And then if anyone else relates to that, excellent. You that's a bonus, but you got to write for you.
No, that's awesome. I like that one. I'm gonna keep note of that one for sure.
Yeah, man.
Kind of a part two to that question then is, with your personal experiences, what's some advice you would give to somebody coming up in the industry?
Don't take anything too seriously. And when I say that, it is like I can't even count how many times I've gone to songwriting seminars and things, and people have literally said, you've broken the rules of songwriting. There's no such thing as the rules of songwriting. There's no such thing as, you know, different, not being able to do different music. And I think another one is something that we talked about earlier, and that was patience.
Mhm.
Patience is a major thing in this world. Don't expect instant gratification. There is no such thing as overnight success.
No, exactly. And I think this last couple of years, you've seen these rules for songwriting get broken by everybody with genre bending stuff like Little Nas X, and then
Yeah.
the way hip hop, for instance, now is more, it's less lyrical, but more like movement and feeling, and it's a completely different type of music now, and rules are just being broken left, right, and center.
And I love that because I've always been somebody of like a multi-genre um, music lover. So I mean, there's so many different genres that I love. I love hip hop. I love lo-fi beats. I love metal. You know what I mean? So there's so much that I take all of those and I kind of try and put them into my music and make the most sense out of it. But at the end of the day, as we spoke of, there is no rules, man.
Mhm.
Um, it's what attracts the ear and what sounds good. And if you've got your fans and your friends behind you, gives a shit, man. You're good.
And that's just it. If the song is a good song, it doesn't matter what genre it's in.
Good song is a good song is a good song.
Exactly. All right, my last question always makes people think a little bit more. What's one thing that you wish more people asked about that isn't asked enough in interviews?
Are you happy?
Okay. What about being happy?
Well, are you happy? Are you happy? Are you a happy individual? I want to know how you feel. Like if I was going to ask a question in an interview, I would probably say, and get your vibe from you and whatnot, and say, and how do you feel these days? Like, are you happy? Are you sad? Are you, because everyone goes, oh, I feel good. It's like, well, good's not a feeling. So how do you feel?
Mhm.
Because I want to know the nitty gritty. I enjoy the nitty gritty, personalized stuff. I don't want to know. I don't want to see the pretty face and then the poppy song. I want to know what about my, like if I'm a fan of somebody's, I want to know everything about them and dig right into them. So yeah, and I want to know emotionally when I'm talking to somebody how you actually feel. How do you feel today?
Mhm. There's a place for cookie cutter questions, and then there's a place for real questions to know more about who you are.
Totally. And I mean these experiences that I'm getting in all these interviews and whatnot are just, they're second to none, man. It's really, really amazing. And it's amazing just meeting people such as yourself and being able to talk about my story. I'm really blessed and grateful for that.
Mhm. And for me, this is always like, I'm actually a photographer, so I started interviews during COVID.
Yeah.
It kind of popped up and said, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I said, "Well, I'm not doing anything else right now, so why not?"
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to get to know people like yourself. And I'm a music lover. I love all music. So when I hear something and then I get to actually know the person, it makes it that much better.
Yeah, I think it's cool just because like we never really get that experience, like, you know, to actually sit down and shoot the breeze with someone and get to know them actually personally. And then you can actually go, I'm a fan of that person, not
Mhm.
a fan of their music. I'm a fan of that person, you
Yeah.
know? It's like anybody who I hang out with these days. I don't have time to hang out with shitty people these days because my life is too short. So the
Mhm.
people that I hang out with, I'm a genuine fan of them.
Yeah, for sure. And you get bonus points too. Tattoo, bald beard guy. We kind of have a brotherly bond in that sense. So,
Well, I don't have a choice about this.
oh, me either. This is it. It just happens,
Listen, bro, I'm doing this for all of us, okay?
and
I'm
we
not wearing
appreciate it.
yeah, I'm not wearing a hat or nothing. I'm like, everyone's always wearing their hats and stuff. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Yeah, bald it is.
I mean, I would go without a hat, but I burn at the drop of a dime, so I have to wear a hat.
Dude, wait till I start playing festivals. Then I'm gonna get a sombrero.
There you go. Hopefully we'll get to see you live. I have a team across Canada, so I'm sure you'll be playing somewhere when we'll get to actually get some live stuff from you.
Oh, bro, that'd be awesome, man. I just,
Mhm.
you know, my favorite thing would be to meet in person, just like it is with the, you know, majority of people that I meet. I mean, this is great, but you know, it's the hugs and the handshakes are always something I love. So
Yeah, when you get to sit, share a beer with somebody and just have a good conversation, there's nothing like
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
So that's pretty much all I have for you. Is there any kind of final notes you want to give to people watching slash listening to this?
No, we're not really. Just you know, thank you very much for your support. You can check out my stuff on social media and my website, grahamtrude.com. But really, you know, just thanks for listening.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll make sure we link everything so people have direct access to you that way.
yeah, sweet. Yeah. So yeah, just thank you very much for listening and being here and having me on here. And yeah, I hope you follow my journey. And if you don't, it's that's okay too.
Mhm. Hey, I've already got you saved on my Spotify list and everything, so I'm definitely going to keep up with you for sure.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
It was a pleasure having you on, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I guess it's almost the afternoon's over now, so
Yeah, man. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day too.
I'll be working the rest of the day. I'm going to have to edit this and do more emails and have
Boo.
having the team across Canada. So we also cover live concerts and things like that too. So trying to book for everybody separately has been
And is it a photography team? Like, what do you mean your team?
yeah. So mainly photography. I have a couple writers on board to help me take notes and things like that for reviews and doing these interviews.
Oh,
And then
nice.
we also dropped a clothing line, so I have kind of a separate team for that to try to make
Oh,
sure that goes.
well, fuck yeah, man. Just shoot me a tag and your clothing line stuff too on socials, and I'll throw it up on my shit.
Actually, yeah, that might be good because one of the things I did was I made an indigenous line, and part of every sale of that line goes to support indigenous causes like homelessness and whatever. We pick something different each month to send money
Yeah,
to, basically.
yeah, that's I love it, man. Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, just send me some stuff. I'll help you out as much as I can.
Awesome, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, we'll sign off now, and like I said, enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, brother. We'll take care.
Have a good one.